was just covering the whole entire hillside with mooses and trolls. And there were even gnomes, not just trolls, gnomes. Like the gnomes that live underneath the houses and the barns. But these are different gnomes, these are forest gnomes. And they were on the backs as well. It was just some type of raid or something. Well, Ogun had never seen this before. And then he went to go run and get his father, his papa. Papa, there's something on the ridge line. Come see. And Ogun's dad quickly ran to the window, and they had disappeared. Well, what had happened is the Master Chief Troll saluted them to raid, so they were already down the hill. And when the father looked up at the moonlight in the background to see the hill, there was nothing there. But they were actually down the hill, charging into town. Suddenly it was dead quiet, very quiet. Not even the sound of the night bees buzzing around, no sounds whatsoever. Suddenly you heard clop, 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 clop on the ground. The sounds of moose clops. Clop, 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 clop. And moose hooves look like this. They kind of look like a horse's hoof. It's a bottom of a moose hoof, except they do not have those metal things that horses have. Horseshoe. No, they were moose boots. They were handmade by the trolls. They were made from the trolls' enemies. The leather was made as little booties for the moose, so that the clopping sound on the ground is not, you don't hear too much of it when it's clopping on the ground, because you do not want the people, the humans of the town, to wake up and be, ambushed by all these trolls and moose. No, because if that were to happen, the people would come out with the pitchforks, the flaming arrows, and even the mini Napoleon cannons that they had specifically shipped from Rome and Italy. And there's things back a bunch. And the trolls and the moose did not want to be pelted by Napoleons. No, not at all. So he was dead silent. You heard some clops. Reason being why you heard clops. And you know how these shoes are supposed to get rid of the clops. Well, one of the mooses, he had worn through his shoes. He was destined, he needed a new pair, but he go and grab it.